Hello and welcome to the 19th installment of the ExtremeHW Podcast. Today I am joined by our glucose guardian Frick Frock.
Like this,
That sounds like a medication.
it sounds like something you have, like something like a diabetes injection or something.
No, it's just your sugar daddy.
Oh god,
You're our sugar daddy.
I prefer
Anyway, also I am joined by, well, Chris.
Yeah, hi, what? Are you being mean to me?
Not yet, that comes later.
Oh, okay.
And we also have Andrew joining us as well. Anyway, moving on. I mentioned this, or I think I forgot to mention it. Don't forget about the in-win giveaway going on at the ExtremeHW forum. It's pretty good. Going on for how many months now? I think it's been going on for 2 months and another 4 to go, or might be on 3 months because it just turned February and another 3 to go. But there are some awesome prizes to be had, and probably very good chances of you winning something. Chris, please don't stub your toe.
I'm sorry, my foot fell asleep and then I banged it on my floor and now all I can feel is pain.
Well, at least your feet still feel something.
Yeah.
Anyway, no. So, let's move on to something actually interesting and not disgusting. Chris.
Let's move on to something interesting and not disgusting, like Chris.
No, not really.
Oh, hang on. The in-win giveaway. It is the next thing. D-Frame Mini is the current giveaway thing.
Ooh, the D-Frame Mini is actually a really awesome case.
It looks awesome. That thing looks insane.
I think Simmons actually really liked it. The kind of like roll cage design of it. It's neat. I don't think you can have any airflow issues with it.
There's nothing but air, so yeah, I agree.
So we've got a whole bunch of topics lined up today. Some interesting ones, some rather interesting ones.
Yeah.
I saw the first one. The first one's actually the AMD one. I'm not sure if that's a great one to lead with. Not sure if you put it in there. Did you put that,
counterfeit
Chris?
coolers. No. It's just counterfeit coolers. Like there's Wraith coolers floating around with extra heat pipes, and they aren't official. They aren't authentic AMD products.
Oh, well, not
that's a reference to their CPU ID. I'm clever.
So since how now we've basically explained all of it, Chris, you are going to dive in and tell us about this.
Well, I guess I have to open the link first. From a PC Gamer headline, beware of AMD coolers with extra heat pipes. They aren't real AMD products. AMD says CPU coolers purporting to be Wraith Prisms with more than 4 heat pipes are not genuine. I mean, basically, from the looks of it, they're actually fairly decent quality, but it's just like, it's a Chinese knockoff that's trying to like copy the aesthetic of an existing product for less money. They're also apparently using AMD's branding, which is that's not okay. You're not allowed to do that. But yeah, it's counterfeit coolers. I don't know if anybody's tested them or not, actually.
That would be actually pretty interesting to see, counterfeit cooler versus real cooler, which one's better. And
that's not even a market that makes any sense. Like, that's like buying a counterfeit power supply. Like, why?
Well, it's a cooler though. Like, there's not much to it.
Have you seen these sort of? There are people that would want an AMD cooler over another cooler because it has, RGB and AMD.
Yeah.
To be fair, they're actually decent, unlike Intel's coolers, which have not changed for a good part of a decade.
Oh, yeah. Hey, I have a confession to make.
It's okay, Chris. We already knew.
I have purchased 2 Intel stock coolers that I am using unironically.
Why are terrible?
them because they fit in the case that I was using, and that was more important than performance.
But Chris, you should have spent the extra $60 and got a Noctua cooler.
Oh, damn, you're right.
Yeah,
What about the cooler that Frick just sent? That looks pretty decent.
Yes, that is
my goodness. That's a big boy.
that's one of the biggest
That's a
CPU
wind
coolers
tunnel.
of all time. It's for the Intel Prescott CPU heatsink.
Prescott, that'll do it. Yeah, P4.
Yeah, that's what it is. This thing is okay. So for those that can't see it, it's
The Boeing
essentially a
747 engine.
It looks like a turbine. It looks like the turbine for a jet or something. It's huge. Or like a balloon, like a blimp.
Why?
It looks like a blimp.
How many watts was this?
Let's see. I'll look up
Like,
the spec.
as in, Chris, was this an official Intel thing?
No, it's probably third party.
Okay.
Transparent plastic. That just screams third party 90s aesthetic. No, I mean Prescott Pentium 4s were 90 watt TDP. I want to say somewhere around there. They were some of the later ones, if I remember correctly. I don't think they were that hot.
Do you own any of those products that use that sort of 90s clear acrylic aesthetic?
I can't think of any off the top of my head, and I'm sad because I unironically like it.
So
I really wish it would come back.
I used to use a cooler from a company called Rocketfish that looked exactly like that. And Rocketfish, for those that don't know, is like the in-house brand of Best Buy. And it's
Really? Okay.
It is, yeah, actually, I found the exact. Oh, here it is. Yeah, this is the exact cooler. So it was one of these universal coolers. I'll post it up. It's the Rocketfish universal cooler. It looked
What's
like
it
that. Rocketfish.
Oh gosh,
universal
that's
cooler.
like that's a 212 plus.
Yeah, but it was like they were exclusive to Best Buy. Couldn't get them anywhere else. I guess nobody else would buy them, but that they were surprisingly not bad. I kind of liked them, to be honest with you. But they've got that transparent sort of I don't know what you would call it, translucent, transparent, gets dirty within like a 10 minutes of using it type look.
Yeah,
that's what I was going to say. So they actually kind of don't seem so bad from the outset until you realize how horribly, like how apparent dust is on these. And they are so hard to clean. Like Perspex is awful.
good
honestly.
old polymethyl methacrylate.
No, because like the very purpose of cleaning it scratches it. So, well, I mean, unless you want to clean it very, very, very carefully.
That took you a second.
Well, yeah. A lot of people just wipe it down with a microfiber cloth, which means they scratch the hell out of it. You have to lubricate it really well. So you basically have to clean it underwater or with lots of soapy water. And no one's doing that for the side panel or whatever. Acrylic's not great.
I looked into because now I got like interested in like what the ugliest CPU coolers of all time are, and I found something that I think might get that cake. So there's a Thermaltake made a cooler, and
of course Thermaltake is ugly.
It's called the Zero Therm Butterfly HSF. Which, okay, so this thing it's like all copper, it looks like, and it's shaped like a butterfly. The entire heatsink is shaped like a butterfly. And for some reason, it's got like 4 handles at the top of it that I'm not really sure if they actually do anything.
Oh, okay.
Those are heat pipes, so I guess it's just like looping up and back around.
No, so that's the first one. And then I found another one, which is somehow even uglier by, obviously, Cooler Master. And this thing is called the Skulljika. And I don't, you know what, Cynical? Why don't you describe this one? Because I can't seem to find the words.
Wow.
Called the Hypersphere. The Cooler Master Hypersphere.
It looks like somebody took a jet engine and then hit it with a hammer.
It looks like a seashell.
I'd say it looks like a car turbo.
Yeah, no, a seashell's pretty good. Looks like a seashell mixed with a car turbo. These are horrible, Frick. I'm inclined to actually put it in, I'm going to put in the thumbnail. That is horrible.
It is offensively bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm noticing like all the really, really hideous CPU coolers, they're none past like 2010. After that, they all more or less look the same.
Yeah, because everybody went for like, oh, we gotta target gamers and they want RGB. Ugh.
Well, the last one that
Gamers.
Cooler Master made that one could say is sort of hideous was this thing, and it's known as the Cooler Master Muscle Car V8 GTS.
Oh goodness gracious me! I remember these.
Oh my god! Okay, so it's hard to really get an idea of how big this thing is without looking at it on scale. But this is what it looks like when it's actually on the motherboard.
Oh, that's large.
Do you want to know something very interesting with this? Yeah, so they had they have still the V6, the V8, and the V10. They did a lot of marketing. These were very expensive coolers, and they're very big. They're really bad. Like the V10 was worse than the V8.
Let's explain what we're seeing here. So it looks like it's like a giant. It's like the front of a Mustang or something, like a Decepticon. The front of it looks like.
Yeah, it's trying to look like a fake plastic engine cover on top, basically. And then it's a sandwich of it's a sandwich of non-replaceable fans. So it goes like heatsink fin combo, non-replaceable 135mm fan, heatsink fin combo, non-replaceable 135mm fan, heatsink fin combo.
Wow, I hate that.
Yeah,
pretty bad.
And then obviously red LEDs on top because red means fast.
Haha, yeah, if you put red LEDs on your computer, it goes faster, XD. I saw this on Reddit.
Now,
thank you, Chris.
My boy, I know we thought looking like a jet engine was bad enough, but what if they actually made a heatsink that was a jet engine? Because that's what the Cooler Master jet engine is.
No, I think that's actually a fan. Jet engines have their engines.
It's called the Cooler Master Jet 4 ICB V83 heatsink. It was made for the Pentium 4. And my God almighty, this thing is... Okay, it's a block of copper with a turbine, a jet turbine on top of it. That's exactly
I believe it's just a fan.
Well, it's shaped to look like a turbine, okay?
Well, yeah, but it's still a fan.
Okay, so yes, it's a fan, but this thing, like, I mean, if you want to talk about the most uninspired design I've ever seen in my life, there's no artistry to this. If you're gonna do this, at least make it look cool.
Yeah.
I
find it strange that the amount of ugly CPU coolers greatly is outnumbered by the amount of ugly cases, because it's not even close.
Well, yeah, I mean, if cases take so much more tooling and effort to design, like cheap, crappy cooler. I mean, for the most part, Frick, like most of the reason these are ugly is because of plastic. Just like, hello, company, I need to make this crappy plastic thing to slap on an Intel stock cooler. Can you make it? And they make it, and it's a lot easier than making a whole case.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Oh, no, speaking of which, did you guys ever hear of the Ice Giant one? If you want, I think that thing was a majority plastic. So I'll put it in. So the Ice Giant cooler was this massive. I don't think it was any metal. I think it was all plastic.
Didn't this thing just come out? The Threadripper cooler?
Yeah, it just came out. Yeah.
Do you see this thing?
Yeah. So we talked about it. It's as far as I understand, that's not how it's supposed to look in final, production form. Simmons was really excited about it as well.
Yeah, it's not finalized, but honestly, that's a very plain big air cooler. Like I can't call it ugly. It's just a black rectangle.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not ugly, but it's not good looking either. It's just average.
It's utilitarian.
Utilitarian?
Spartan. I don't know.
Wait a second. Hang on. So you're saying that's utilitarian, right? Right? That's a utilitarian looking cooler. That you're going to stick with that statement? If that is utilitarian cynical, then what the hell is this? The Scythe Susano. You want to talk utilitarian? Okay. Oh, this is
that's interesting. They've got a fin stack on the cold plate. Yeah, no, I agree. That's also utilitarian.
The most Okay, so for those that can't see it, all of it is just 4 fans glued together on top of each thing.
I actually want one of these. Hang on, what's it called? The Susanoo cover?
Yeah, the site Susanoo.
Oh, wait, no. I'm just looking at the URL.
Don't make it anymore.
Yeah, but I might be able to get it. Okay, that's German. Discontinued. Dang.
Well, yeah, they're not going to keep making this thing.
100mm fans? Not 92
Ooh.
or 120, but 100mm. Okay, that's
Old.
ugh. Oh man, you could slap like 200mm fan and a push pull on it. Push pull.
Oh, that's actually kind of interesting. Yeah, I'd
Yeah,
like
I'd
200mm fans.
Okay, I searched Susanoo and I'm getting a bunch of anime looking phone cases on Amazon. So
You're in the right place.
I guess this is a Naruto character. I don't know.
Anyway, so that's boring now.
It really
Rocket
is.
League.
Yeah, that's also boring.
It is, but it's worth mentioning.
Is
Rocket
it, though?
League.
Shout out to my boy Rick Anderson, by the way. Rick Anderson, play better video games. I don't know if he listens.
Rocket League is dropping support for Mac OS and Linux.
As they should.
As of March 2020, Psyonix is going to be dropping support for Mac and Linux, citing that they want to focus on development for Windows.
I think they should drop development for Windows as well.
Only mobile. Wow.
Rocket League 2, more rockets, more leagues.
Yeah, so you can still play offline, I think. No, not really. So unless you want to play offline against bots or locally with friends, I think you're just going to have to move to Windows, basically, or use, Wine.
Nice.
What?
Just forcing Linux gamers to use Wine after they had native support. That's funny.
I'm not sure what refunds are kind of doing or what's going on with it, because if you've owned the game for more than 2 weeks or played for more than 2 hours, I don't think they're going to issue a refund.
Wait, whoa. Wait, did Blizzard buy up Rocket League?
Oh, Psyonix?
I
Who's
don't
Psyonix
know.
owned by?
Did
It's
they?
owned by Epic, right?
Hang on.
Epic owns Psyonix.
Rocket League
owned-
new owner. Let me see.
It's
It's
Epic.
Epic.
I'm pretty sure it is Epic.
Yeah, it's Epic Games.
I mean, they just probably have a monetary reason for this.
Because
I
nobody
mean,
plays it.
yeah, it is Epic.
Nobody plays it on, like, all 10 people.
No, sure. But I find it very interesting that Linux and Mac OS multiplayer is different enough from Windows. Like, I wouldn't have thought that there would be any sort of
It's probably
difference.
that they have to change the netcode every so often. And oops, now the old version can't work on our servers and they don't want to keep maintaining that. I don't know. It's presumably an identical experience, let's be honest, but I don't know.
like
It's probably different enough that it's a problem.
It's just very interesting that they're discontinuing the multiplayer specifically on Mac OS and Linux.
Well, it's
You know
more
what I mean?
like you can't play online anymore, but they're not going to retroactively disable the offline installs that people have.
Yeah.
That'd be vindictive.
Yeah.
I don't think they have. Do they have a launcher for an Epic Games launcher for Mac OS and Linux? An official one?
I mean, if
I think they do.
Looking at it right now, I don't see an official one. I only see it for
makes
Windows.
sense.
So I mean, that would make even more sense. Like, why even bother? We don't even support these platforms.
I know they
Yeah.
only have it for Windows and Mac.
Yeah. So Linux, I mean, nobody cares about Linux since Proton released. So you can pretty much play any Windows game with Proton anyway.
What is Proton, Frick?
Proton is it's basically Valve's way of allowing Linux gamers to play any game on Windows.
Okay, so it's basically like Wine for Steam.
Yeah, basically.
Oh yeah, that's right. Isn't that like just a wine wrapper for Steam games? Like
Yeah, but
Valve
it's being
maintains
actively
it.
developed, and it's pretty good. So why not?
That's pretty neat. Sorry. Yeah, so they are, well, people are saying you can still use Proton to play the game, although not officially supported by Psyonix. But what's the word? Essentially, not officially, people have reported that the anti-cheat software for Rocket League has banned people for using Proton. So
God.
Is that
That's supposed to
true?
be
anecdotal, that's the
official.
word. Yeah, no.
Anecdotal.
Yeah, I feel like there's a bit more to that story. There usually is.
Sounds
No,
like
but
some
if-
propaganda from Epic to get to like build bad press towards Steam.
Well, no, this is not Epic saying it. This is like a forum saying it, which we can't mention. But
Oh, I wonder what forum that is.
no, people anecdotally just saying like, "Oh, I heard that someone got banned." So I mean, you probably can get banned for it. Maybe the person was also cheating and just blamed it on.
Oh,
you
yeah.
banned me because so. But it is something that could happen. I mean, anti-cheat software for games is notoriously punishing for people that
Not very good. Yeah.
Yeah, but there's a huge market for that too. I think it was either Psyonix or Blizzard or somebody, or maybe it was. I think it might have been Epic who won some massive lawsuit against somebody making cheats for Fortnite.
Oh yeah,
Was
I
it-
vaguely.
I think it was
remember
Epic.
a
I
story
know
like this.
Blizzard also sued someone for making cheats for, was it Starcraft or Diablo, and they won.
Yeah.
Which was really weird because no one thought they were going to win the lawsuit.
They got
Yeah.
more money. That's how the legal system works.
It's a
Speaking
strange
of
thing,
which,
yeah.
honestly, this is obviously going to go into our next topic, but I found it very strange that a lot of gaming companies that have made really bad products not lately, in the past, are making really decent strides lately, and vice versa. Something I found really cool, because I've always been a huge fan of Command & Conquer, is that EA is making at least seemingly, really decent attempt at remastering the original Command & Conquer game, CNC 95. They have basically one of the head directors for the old CNC 95 guy heading up this, and he's a huge CNC 95 fan. They announced this on sort of CNC forums as well as Reddit. They're getting a group of people like they did with Halo to kind of, community representatives to give direction with regards to the game, art style, sound. Should we do this? Should we do that? Which is really cool. Like things like when they're remastering the original Red Alert, should the Tesla tank have the rings on the outside like the CG, or should the in-game thing, which didn't have the rings, should we use that? What game engine should we use? What should we do this? And they're using the original Westwood company, well, what's left of it, to actually make this.
How much Tim Curry is going to be in it?
Who's that? No,
Tim Curry.
Okay, frick, I don't remember. Just tell me.
Curry was the guy who goes, his best quote is when he goes, "Our final frontier, space." You remember that guy? That Tim Curry? The actor from, it was either CNC, I'll put a picture. Here, this is Tim Curry. It's like the most well-known actor from that entire series.
No, that would be Kane.
That's Tim Curry, right? He's in that, correct?
I don't think so.
I only know him as the Take My Strong Hand guy from Scary Movie, I think 2.
He was in Red Alert 3.
Oh,
yeah.
right. Yeah, no, I
Red
never
Alert
played
3.
Red Alert. Frick, they're remaking Red Alert and Command & Conquer 95.
Those were, okay, I gotcha.
Yes. I actually never played Red Alert. So, did you listen to like key words that I said and just had something else to say?
I just like Tim Curry a lot.
Okay.
We never talk about Tim Curry.
I mean, can't blame you. He's dreamy.
It is Tim Curry after all, yeah. Anyway, go on.
Right. Anyway, so yeah, I think it's going to be called Command & Conquer Remastered. I'll actually send a
Very
link.
creative name.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that, though. And they're sticking to a lot of the original art style, and they are going to purposely put in the old game engine's flaws, if you will, because it was obviously a 1995 game engine. How the AI works in there with the unit control and stuff is primitive. Multiple selecting units was a big thing back then.
Yeah.
But that adds some of the charm of the game of how dumb the units were. So they're actually keeping that on purpose.
Yeah, like keeping quirks of old games is like really important. Like when Nintendo ported Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow to the Virtual Console on the 3DS, they didn't change the games at all, even though Red and Blue were just horrible, buggy messes. The only thing that they changed were a few animations for moves that were flashing too hard, and they were concerned could like give people with epilepsy seizures, which is
Oh yeah, I remember some of that.
that's
Like
valid.
they meant to do it like I think you're changing scenes or transitioning as like flash, 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 flash.
Yeah, well, it was certain moves, but especially after like the 35th episode of the anime or something ended up like causing seizures, and that was really bad. So
Yeah, I don't know if that's exclusive to RTS games, because I remember there was some talk a while ago about remastering Diablo 1 or Diablo 2. And the one thing every Diablo player has been asking for is like native widescreen support. But Blizzard said it's impossible. Yeah. We can't do it.
It's not. That's the thing that annoys a lot of people.
Their argument was if we introduce that into the game, then that's going to allow you to see way more than you're supposed to see. Like the game was designed with a very specific amount of like pixels per screen that you could see. So like you wouldn't, because otherwise it would just be OP. That was their argument, at least. You would see too much.
That's a load of crap.
No, that's what they said. Okay. Listen, there's a widescreen mod for Diablo 2. Yes, it does allow you some unfair advantages, and you can see things before they aggro you and before you can even trigger the things, so you can predict what's going to happen and alter what you were going to do in the first place. Basically, it removes a lot of the element of surprise. The argument against that is it's called a remaster, not a widescreen mod.
Yeah.
The idea of this is that, and what's crazy is that EA is doing this and seems to be doing it right, is they're not just going, here's a game, new textures. They're going, let's make this good. Let's make this that people want to spend money on it again and relive the old experiences of it and retell the story.
Well,
actually, speaking of
they lost their
remasters.
Battlefront 2 came out, and they started getting a lot of flack from Disney because they were ruining the franchise. They basically did the same thing. They're like, okay, we're going to lose this Disney contract if we don't like undo all the crappy stuff we did and actually put focus into something. Oh yes, yeah, there was
Age of Empires 2 as well.
Of them losing that contract with Disney because it was constant bad press for them. So they were like, we're going to lose this Disney contract. So they made Fallen Order, and now Fallen Order, I think, is like one of the best-selling Star Wars games that they've made.
I think there's more to it than just that. I do think that was a catalyst.
Yeah, let's be honest. Disney likes money. Like, if EA is making them money,
they hate bad press. If there's one thing Disney cares more about than money, it's like good PR.
Yes, but I don't think it was the sole motivator. I think genuinely, as obvious as this should be, I think good games sell more than bad games nowadays.
Thank you, Alex. Very insightful. I'm sorry.
No, I know it sounds really obvious, but like there was genuinely a period from 2000 and what do you want to say, 9 to
we don't talk
17?
About 2009.
2010 to 17, where it just pump out the same crap, people will buy it.
I mean, yeah,
it still happens.
Well, yeah, I mean that's why like every game went all. What did they try to do? What was it that they were trying to copy? There was one really big game that everyone was trying to be. I mean, like Call of Duty, Clash of Clans.
Do you talk about the
both of those are influential
the zombie age as well? Remember, every game was zombie infused. Ooh, yeah. I mean, there's all these kind of like different, like the PUBG trend as well, Fortnite trend, all that kind of stuff.
Everything has to be a battle royale. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad that's dying down now. But yeah, I think it's just interesting to see this. And on the complete opposite end of the scale, we have Blizzard. And Blizzard did a decent job with the StarCraft 1 remaster. And I say decent because it's not really a remaster. It's more of an HD pack, support for wider resolutions, HD audio, i.e. not mono, So decent quality audio, decent quality graphics in terms of it's still faithful to the original style, but it's bigger support for 4K, etc., etc. But they didn't mess with the formula too much, which is another decent approach to take.
Yeah.
And Warcraft 3 Reforged, I don't know if this is kind of where I'm leading it into, was appearing to be more than that. They were promising, new cinematics, better cinematics. At one point, they wanted to alter the story. Luckily, they've kind of gone back on that.
Yeah, never do that. That's a good way to make people angry.
Yeah, but they're promising the same thing. So the idea of StarCraft remastered with, everything updated, 4K support, HD textures, better sound, better animations, etc., but also redoing a lot of cinematics in, modern style, which Blizzard cinematics are always amazing. So it looked really promising, especially with a price tag of, half of a AAA game, $30, I think it was. That might be the Canadian price, but it looked like it was going to be decent. And then, we have today where it sits at a 0.5 user score on Metacritic.
Impressive. How did they achieve that?
And there's reports,
how did they achieve that?
This is the lowest ranked user reviewed game of all time on Metacritic.
It is the lowest ranked user game on Metacritic. I think unfairly so, but it's not that horrible of a game. But it's mainly the attitude that they've taken. It's what Blizzard have done with the promises and what they've delivered that have people very angry. One of the key things about Warcraft 3 is the multiplayer aspect. I don't know if you guys played it when it came out, but
no.
Generally, a lot of people played the campaign. Campaign was good, and then sunk hundreds of hours into multiplayer. I mean, that's where Dota came from. There's so many original maps and concepts in the multiplayer. It's a very unique community game.
Oh, is this a thing where everybody was getting angry about how Blizzard owns any custom maps that you make, as if that doesn't happen with every game mod in existence that gets officially distributed?
Yes, that's one of the things. And it didn't happen with game mods previously.
They always hired them out. Well, no, it's
no. I mean, officially distributed, and frankly, yeah, there is an argument to be made that there is some ownership there because it's proprietary software and it's based on their trademarked world. Right. Warcraft is intellectual property.
But then, if you're a company that wants to distribute that, and let's say I'm the modder, I might use some assets that are from the game, but if I make my own original textures or models or something like that, then if you want to distribute it, then I have to get a licensing fee for that. That's the whole thing.
Yeah, so that is one aspect. There's also a lot of other things that people are upset about. It's not just one thing.
Of course not.
So another thing, they promised better cutscenes with improved graphics, and they showed off a cutscene in 2018. We're gonna redo the cinematic. So what they did is just an in-game camera with a lowered angle, which is not a cinematic at all. It's, I don't want to say it's straight up lying, but it's deceptive at best. It's worse than the 2018 preview. The game is, this is I suppose a bit of a subjective one. I recently bought Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition. It's really, really good remaster and remake. It's also I think it's 8 gigs, 6 gigs. It's bigger than the game, but it's not huge. Warcraft 3 is 30 gigs. Also very buggy. crashy.
Well, how good are the textures though? Like in comparison, because
to be fair to Age of Empires, that 6 gigs or so is without the 4K textures. With 4K textures, it's an extra big boy 14 gigs. So
yeah, that'll do it.
the textures are higher in Age of Empires Definitive Edition than Warcraft. Speaking of the textures,
when they introduced uncompressed audio to Titanfall, like the file sizes balloon.
Yeah,
yeah, uncompressed audio is really dumb for a game. Anyway,
especially if it's like going to go through a radio filter in the game because you're tactical military man.
Yeah. Anyway, that would be fine. Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition looks very good. Honestly, it looks very good for what it is. Warcraft 3 looks worse than the original. Sorry, Warcraft 3 Reforged looks worse than the original in too many cases to be acceptable, which is mind-blowing that a 2020 release of a game could be worse than its original 2003/4 variant. Yeah. A lot of people don't like how it looks.
Yeah, understandable.
They have also, and I'm not entirely certain, but I'm pretty sure they've stopped you you can't log into Warcraft 3 non-reforged on battle.net, which means goodbye Warcraft 3 online. You have to do reforged now.
Someone will make a mod to get it to work.
That's
basically it's like, hi,
that's
thank you for. Yeah. Yeah, it's just basically they've disabled the Warcraft 3 online, which is
like OG Warcraft
cool.
3.
And no, not just that, but there's also another effect to that, because that affects I think that is all going on like the Diablo 2 servers as well. So now those servers are getting super blocked up. So now every time I want to play some Diablo 2, I've got like a line of 7,000 people lined up and I can't get in.
Yeah. If Blizzard remakes Diablo 2, which I think this is probably going to motivate them to not do it, honestly.
Yeah, not doing it. Which, to be fair, if the remake is going to be like this, they shouldn't.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. It's such a shame, though, because bringing it back to Command and Conquer, the reason I think that remake's going to work really well is because look at the people doing it. They're bringing back the original sound director. He's remade some of the songs because he couldn't find them, because he wanted them to be good. Like, it looks like from the outset or the outside that they're putting love and attention into this remake because they want to do it. Warcraft 3 Reforged looked like it was Blizzard going, hey, Warcraft 3 was... Yeah, it looks like Warcraft 3 was super popular. Let's sell it again. That's what it looks like. And I think that's probably why it's not so great, honestly. Anyway, going back to why people don't like it so much. They've removed... Oh, yeah, they're being very skirty aroundy with refunds. You need to contact support to get a refund, and support is, well, slightly overwhelmed. So if you're in the EU, you probably are going to get a refund because the EU has some decent laws. If you're in the US...
Lol. Ouch. Sorry.
Exactly what Chris said. So just play the single player. I don't know.
Don't play it at all.
No, what's so funny is I really liked Starcraft 1 Remastered. I thought it was really good. I made this is the second game I have pre-ordered in my life. The first one being Watch Dogs 1.
Oh, Alex, I'm so sorry.
So my pre-order games consist of Watch Dogs and Warcraft 3 Reforged. Watch Dogs was a bigger blow because it cost more money. This is not as expensive, and at least I could run this game, on my GPU. So I'm looking into it, or looking at it as a point of view of just playing the single player, and I'm okay with that. So it is disappointing. I think they're going to hopefully fix it just because of the massive amount of negative backlash that this has been given. Blizzard do have a good history of fixing games. but Blizzard of late has been terrible. So
Yeah.
who knows where it's going to go.
So, Alex, would you say that this move is anti-consumer?
I don't know if I know you're saying that as a joke, but
Everything I say is a joke, maybe.
I know, but
Maybe.
Gauge the reception of the room and then decide.
Anti-consumer.
False advertising.
It's
At
not.
the very least, it's bait and switch.
No, I would say it's extremely damaging to their image. If
Is it really false advertising though? Because like
It's
it doesn't
not.
sound like they
It's
promised
decep-
anything.
It's at the very least it's bait and switch. It is definitely bait and switch.
it's deceptive.
No, actually, it isn't. No Man's Sky was actually a lawsuit about this, about how it was false advertising because of their trailers, and then it was nothing like the release game.
That's why they have that disclaimer at the bottom of all the commercials. Beta footage does not represent final product.
No,
Yeah.
that's not why they got off. They got off because that wasn't the advert. That was a trailer. And it's going to be the same thing with Warcraft 3.
Yeah, no, I don't expect any sort of litigation to go on or anything like that. I just hope that they fix it, really. There's nothing legally binding them to fix it other than their reputation.
Goodness of their hearts. Yeah, I got it.
And
Hearts.
do you remember when Activision acquired Blizzard? It's not. They don't want to say it's an acquisition. It's like 50-50% partnership. But honestly, Blizzard's basically got the attitude of Activision now.
Yeah, and Activision
Activision
is probably the worst publisher out of all of them. Like EA gets a lot of shit,
Gets a
but
lot of
EA's honestly, I would say EA is more lawful evil. Like Activision, you get a bit more chaotic evil in there. Like EA, at least.
Ubisoft is like that.
Yeah. Why is
they
EA the
are-
worst publisher in America? It's because Ubisoft is based out of France.
But also Ubisoft is like I feel like they don't intentionally set out to do bad things. They just do bad
They're
things
just
all the
really
time.
bad at doing things.
Yeah, there's like
Evil through incompetence.
Activision plan how to screw you over. So EA used to. EA legally finds out how to screw you over while not doing it all the time. Activision just set out to make your experience. They max money from people, basically.
You want to talk about who the scariest legal organization is? It's not EA and it's not Activision and it's not any of those guys. It's Take-Two. Take-Two literally sends goons.
What about Tencent?
Well, you wouldn't know about
Does
that.
Tencent even do anything? Like they exist, but I'm not aware of them being evil. It's just a Chinese investment firm.
Frick actually does have a good point about Take-Two. There's a thing going on right now with someone's making a mod for Red Dead Redemption 2 to bring Red Dead Redemption 1 to PC. Allegedly, Take-Two phoned him and his mother and threatened them.
Oh my god.
Dude, they're insane. They're crazy people.
Yeah.
Oh, that's scary. So they're basically like just gangsters.
Yeah.
No, they sent goons over to his house, dude. Like they're so beyond EA and Activision at this point. They're just like, Jesus Christ.
Did they actually send people to his house?
Yeah, they sent people to his house. Like they knew exactly where he lived and they went down there and they're like, let's just talk to him for a second.
Yeah, I think they doxed him as well.
They're nuts. They are the most terrifying gaming company out there.
Wow. Okay, well, let's move on from some negative vibes.
Yeah.
I don't know. Moving
fuck
on
Chuck.
Wow, thank you, Chris. Can we? Wow.
I contribute.
Do you really?
I say words and sometimes I'm funny.
Look, no. Anyway, sometimes.
To me.
Well, I'm going to be. Yes, I will be mean to you now. How about you choose our next topic, Chris?
Well, I'm busy playing Factorio, which is why I stayed up till 4 a.m. for 3 nights this week. Gosh, I don't know.
No, how about this one, Chris? This one's actually hilarious.
No, you told me I could pick.
No, Chris, I'm going to send it to you, and I think I know why you're going to pick this one.
Is it the chicken thing?
Oh, no, that's for later.
Chris,
Okay.
this.
Yeah, what is this? SpaceX moon messenger has 27,000 applicants for a girlfriend to take along. God, I wish I had 27,000 applicants to be my girlfriend.
But GF.
Any ladies in the audience that is single? I'm sorry, I'm gonna stop.
For what it's worth, Chris is joking, don't worry.
Yeah, I'm gonna die alone. The Japanese billionaire set to become the first private passenger on a SpaceX Starship is seeking partner to go to the moon with him. Are they actually gonna go to the moon? Or are they lunar orbit? They're not gonna land. It's just okay, they're orbiting the moon.
Is space tourism even a thing yet? Because I know quite a few years ago there was Virgin Galactic.
Virgin. Yeah.
And I don't know if that ever took off.
I think they got some passengers. I'm pretty sure they did like some giveaway, like get kids into STEM kind of thing, and they like had a contest or something. I don't know.
It was Virgin Galactic.
Did you mean that in a...
Richard Branson, if you're Virgin Galactic right now, it still exists. The site's still up there. They also say that they recommend using Microsoft Edge as a browser, which is always a good sign.
Well, that means Chrome now.
Yeah,
it's Chromium based.
I'm looking for tickets. I'm looking to see if I can get tickets to the next flight. And there seems to be a way you can actually sign up for it. There's a join button. So you can actually still go and use Virgin Galactic if you want to.
Yeah, but have they actually sent like regular people into space yet?
Not yet.
Have they sent irregular people into space?
Yes.
This is a joke. No one likes my joke. Really bad.
That's
anyway.
okay. I liked your joke.
No, you didn't. Chris, if you like my joke, I'm deeply embarrassed.
Oh, yeah.
For you.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Oh, Virgin Galactic do have a Range Rover that you can buy. It's a regular Range Rover that just has a badge on the back that says Astronaut Edition.
What? Why? How much does it cost?
I don't know. I don't know how much it costs either. Probably a lot of money because it's an astronaut car.
Yeah, astronaut.
I looked up the Japanese billionaire story, and it turns out he called off the search because he felt it was selfish and dumb.
Yeah. All right. Well, I hope he finds true love.
Oh. Anyway, I think we should use this image for it. Take a look here.
Oh my god, I need. Messed up
yes. Well, it's already in the thing. I can see you've put it in.
Yes.
There's no deleting it now.
We talked about the frogs thing. That got Chris rightfully angry.
Yeah, because Simmons is a dumb idiot and probably off watching sports ball tonight.
Egg hand.
Yeah, I still need to decide what I need for supper. Anyway,
we'll talk about that a little later, but there's something that released. We'll save for the end of the show, but something that released I think you'll like a lot.
But what about the iPhone thing using USB-C? Is that?
Oh crap! Did we not talk about that? Yeah, that's
no. Yeah, that's what is that? That's just like EU nonsense. Basically,
like go on.
Basically, Apple is now saying, or the EU is now saying that, you know, everything has to use a standardized charger because e-waste is bad, and all of you idiots having the exact same like 5-volt charging standard is bad. That was like the 2010s, like 20 nothings, the last decade and the decade before last. Everything just used its own proprietary charger, and they were all pretty much interchangeable. So the EU stepped in trying to cut down on e-waste, and everybody agreed on mini USB and then micro USB, I think. But
honestly, the argument for less e-waste annoys me.
I mean, it's
It's not wrong, but it's not like the most key offender for e-waste.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. But at the same time,
it's like the banning straws. It's like
no, banning straws doesn't do anything.
No, it does technically. Yeah, no, it is better.
It definitely
does.
That's
not the thing that's like not one of the key offenders, shall I say? Like
it's like people saying if we plant a bunch of trees, that's going to solve global warming. When in reality, it's actually going to make things much worse.
No, it won't.
Oh yes, yeah. Did you see the article that just dropped about that? It turns out there's a lot of effects that happen when you plant 1 trillion trees that are not good at all.
Is it because of like sudden?
Anyway, go on to the charger. Go on to the charger.
Well, Chris, are you done?
What? Yeah, sure. I guess I don't know. Frick's saying words because he read an article about climate change uncritically, which is by the way a bad idea.
Anyway, so how I see this whole thing, I'm kind of, I suppose, on the fence about it. I don't think it's a thing you should put into law. The motivation is shaky, and the reasoning seems like, when you can very clearly tell people are trying to find reasonings for putting into place something that they just want to put into place rather than actually should be put into place. That's what it comes across to me as. Like they're using the less e-waste as an excuse to force Apple into USB-C. Apple's not going to go.
I mean, the thing is,
the iPhone, they're just going to go wireless probably.
Well, it's already rumored that the
my god, if
the
they
next iPhone is wireless only.
So I saw
the next
that
one, the 2021 model.
No,
2020.
Andrew, shut up. No, I saw that article and it was just like, it wasn't even an educated guess. It was just some dumbass on a finance blog saying like, oh yeah, there's a chance that Apple could do this. They aren't going to do Wi-Fi only for transfers. That would be completely asinine if they did that. Like there is no way in hell they are getting rid of all ports and going wireless only.
Apple TV's wireless only.
How does it plug in then? How does it display? Does it do wireless display?
It's called air gapping.
Okay, rather, it's Wi-Fi only, so you can't plug in an Ethernet port to it.
Okay, so's my Chromebook. That's not the same. Ethernet only is not the same as wireless only. Like I'm talking about a phone.
Okay, so what I'm trying to say is, Apple has hated cables. They've always hated cables.
Yeah.
I don't mind at all the iPhone going wireless only.
You're wrong to think that, but okay.
Given a few key things, and you're going to probably agree with me with this. One, they need to overhaul the absolute hell out of the iTunes app. They need to delete that and start again.
Yes.
What they need to do with if they made an iPhone wireless, is actually damn well put AirDrop on PC. Because I don't mind them getting rid of cables at all and stuff like that, so long as if I open the iTunes app and it doesn't take 2 minutes to open, and then I see my iPhone on the left-hand side, click on it, and it gives me a file breakdown, a directory like structure.
Yeah, and
just click on photos,
USB
drag,
on the go.
Drag. Yeah, it just goes over.
It goes over the Wi-Fi. That. There's no way they're going to do that. Also, the fact that I don't see that being good. I also see a lot of issues if you're, for example, a college student in a dorm and you don't have control over the network. Like you're going to have 2 network devices communicating unless the iPhone can somehow set up like its own access point.
Do you mean like AirDrop?
Yeah, well, is AirDrop going to work on a PC?
Why not?
Well, that was just Alex's point. They can make an app to make it work.
Yeah. It works on Mac OS really well. They just don't want to put it on PC because they are so headstrong about, PCs are worse than Mac, so we're going to purposely make them worse.
Yeah.
iPhone with Mac OS is very much better than it is with Windows. And honestly, transferring things across that USB 2 connection via the Lightning, it doesn't even matter what cable it uses, but via USB 2, and it frequently just bombs out and Explorer freezes. It's awful. It shouldn't exist.
Agreed. So, however, that's not an issue with the cable. That's an issue with like USB 2.
No, I know. But what I'm saying is, I'm fine with them doing wireless so long as they make the wireless good. So long as it gets rid of all the issues I currently have with what they've set it up with. Because they're not going to fix it, basically. Ugh. But maybe them changing to an entirely different way and forcing them to change it might make it, or they might fix it, basically, is what I'm trying to say.
I don't see it. I'm not seeing it. But yeah, there's a chance.
There's a better chance than keeping it on a cable. Because if they just move it to USB-C, I promise you Apple's going to do a thing where it's going to be USB-C in connector, but USB 2 in speed.
Oh, God, no.
Totally do
God
that.
damn it. No. That's for like those cheapo Chinese knockoff Android phones.
You can totally see them doing that, though. I can see them doing that.
I don't see them doing it because I don't think they've done that with the iPad Pro, which uses USB-C.
What are the specs on their lower end iPhone, the iPhone Cs? What do those use?
That's like a couple generations ago.
So they use
the iPhone SE, you mean?
Yeah, those budget ones that are like made of plastic and they're like $200.
Yeah, they don't make those anymore. That was the iPhone 5C. That's several generations ago.
But yeah, the iPad Pro does use it reaches about USB 3.1 speeds. I think 10 gigabit a second. Interestingly enough, my fast charger is actually USB-C for my iPhone, which I've used once because I don't have any other USB-C cables. So
yeah, that's me and my Switch. I got some micro USB tips for it for the purpose of charging only.
Yeah. USB-C is neat, but no one wants to adopt it.
Actually, nobody wants to implement the standard properly.
Do you want to know? One of the best people for implementing USB-C, and I've used the longest I've used USB-C for, is my keyboard.
I hate this.
Ducky has used USB-C for a really long time, and I love it. Just because it's so weird. It doesn't need to be anything fast, but they have USB-C, so that's great.
Yeah, real happy for you.
Whatever. It's whatever. My favorite USB is still USB-B or Type B or whatever.
Big the one that printer cable.
I've never seen break in my entire life.
Isn't that the one they use for printers?
Yeah.
Printers, audio equipment. Yeah, it's great.
Chunky boy.
Chunky boy, indeed. Yeah. Anyway, do you think that should be it? Do you have anything more to bring up apart from our big boy babushka?
Yeah, so do we have any dumb stories that we want to talk?
You like
topic got deleted.
We talk about
it's later now. Can we do the chicken thing?
The horrific pizza that they just announced in South Korea.
Ooh, what's this pizza?
Oh God! Oh Jesus Christ! I don't even want to say it, so I'll just have you say it. Just read out what it's called, Alex. Read what it is.
You're gonna have to give me the. Oh, there it is. I was like, I don't know what's in your mind. Did you say pizza?
It's a pizza. Yes, this is a real pizza that's being announced and released in South Korea.
Okay, what's the problem?
Oh, there's the link. I was very confused because I was looking at another article and that wasn't about pizza. And I thought I was just going crazy because I was hungry and I heard pizza in my brain.
Yeah,
anyway,
pizza.
Domino's South Korea's new pizza features cheesecake mousse between two crusts.
Dude,
right.
Hook me up.
So Domino's South Korea new cheesecake black tiger pizza features a layer of cheesecake mousse sandwiched between two pizza crusts. The bottom crust is hand tossed while the top crust is thin and crispy. Additionally, the pizza comes topped with black tiger shrimp, horseradish sauce, bacon, sun-dried tomatoes, bell peppers, onion, pineapple, parmesan, and mozzarella. While the mousse seems a little odd, Domino's regularly offers sweet potato. Yeah, but sweet potato is quite different cheesecake.
Yeah, I know, right? Cheese on a pizza.
Well, no, I think it's the cake bit, Chris. I mean, I know you're from America, but cake and pizza don't really go on top of each other.
Shut up, Alex. You don't understand our culture or our ways.
No, I don't. I think one of the most American things I've seen with regards to food is as soon as I crossed the border from Canada to America, we pulled over for gas.
Gasoline.
Went into the gas station and they were selling corn muffins that were about the size of my head.
Oh yeah, have you never had a corn muffin before?
I have no, I have never had a corn muffin in my entire life, Chris. And
Are you serious?
I have never seen. I never thought they existed until that moment.
I didn't know they existed until now.
All they taste like
corn muffins are not.
It's just Southern cooking. What?
It's like it's a flavorless muffin. That's all it tastes like.
I mean, they're absolutely not like breakfast muffins, but you have them with like chili or something.
A muffin in the Americas is horrible. It's like 400 calories.
Alex, please do not insult my people like this.
Why do you add sugar to your bread?
To feed the yeast,
what cake is.
So it's leavened.
Are you not aware of what cake is?
No. Why does Wonder Bread exist?
Because it's something with all the corn syrup that we have, so we put it in bread. It's really
when people be like that.
People love the taste of corn syrup.
What do you mean they're addicted to sugar?
Oh, I mean they like. No. So they did a study a while ago about how the psychology of a McDonald's fast food meal is constructed. And they looked at like the measurements and the amounts of like sugar and salt and all of the stuff into it. And they found out that
it's all about that umami.
Almost every single item at McDonald's has sugar in it. Like 99% of it has sugar in it because it's super addictive and it's super like after you eat something with a lot of sugar in it, if it doesn't have a lot of fat in it, you're going to get hungry later pretty quickly. So they just load it up with as much sugar as possible and they just send you on your way to just gobble down 3,000 calories without even knowing it.
But I think it's a combination of both of that. It's like the lots of sugar and also a lot of sodium, salt, essentially.
Oh yeah, like the reason we have an obesity epidemic is because of free refills. Like above all else, it's free refills.
Speaking of free refills, Chris, you're gonna not be happy about this.
What's Starbucks doing? Oh.
McDonald's it looks like they're trying to not remove, but heavily enforce free refills, shall I say.
I'm skeptical.
Barcode,
this is
unique barcode on the bottom of the thing, right? And basically you're only allowed one refill per, how many minutes is it? I think it's 10 minutes.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Number one, I don't believe that that's anything more than a franchise-specific thing. And number two, no way in hell. Like, do you have any idea how heavily subsidized corn is and corn syrup is? Like, the syrup costs nothing.
We love corn.
Like, this is going to cause riots, and it's going to do nothing for their bottom line.
Oh yeah. It's like when didn't New York riot because they wanted to remove an extra large cup or something?
No, they wanted to add like a soft drink tax, which is it's very silly and useless, honestly.
Looked up what's going on at Starbucks in Korea. Apparently they have these amazing purple berry cheesecakes that we don't get, and this is upsetting.
Wait. Hang on, is it the drink?
That's not even related.
I know, we were talking about Puck Bucks. So no, they have a purple berry cheesecake in Korea, and they never make it available to anyone else.
Yeah, I had the cheesecake drink once. It was horrible. That's about how far I'm gonna know with that. I do know Starbucks in Japan and South Korea is regarded for its extremely good presentation. Like the item you see on the menu is what they produce. Like their presentation is very good. Also, I think the frappuccinos are huge there, like popular.
Not like large in size. Like
no, but you know they love. So you don't see them much anywhere, but you know, like parfaits. So
sure.
They are trying to go for kind of the parfait market a bit. So the frappuccinos, being a weird bridge between them, are very extravagant.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so I looked up the Starbucks in Japan, and I posted a link. Look at some of the things that they have on here. These are the most gorgeous things in the history of Starbucks.
No, honestly, they're really, really good with presentation.
Look at this. I don't know what I'll have to translate it to see what it says. But some of this stuff, like, they got themselves sandwiches that actually look edible.
Yeah, look at this. It's. I would love to try some of this stuff. I mean,
that's something called American waffle.
Yeah, but
Japan
they have
does
this
get
thing.
pretty neat things. Like their Kit Kat's pretty neat as well.
I like their vending machines.
No, Chris, take a look at Voice Lobby quickly.
Yeah, I see that.
That's just a sausage roll. It's actually like an Afrikaner thing as well. But their frappuccinos, they are unapologetically non-coffee as well. Like people that
it's not like America where it's like, oh yeah, I'm drinking coffee. It's like, no, you're not.
It's let's be honest.
You don't have to pretend. It's okay.
Yeah, no, they are very like creamy, ice creamy, foamy, sugary desserts that are like mimicking parfaits in a way. And I think that's pretty cool.
Looking at their menu right now. So the Starbucks, first of all, I'm just going to go to Starbucks for that. I put the menu in the chat. So they have a passion fruit frappuccino, which looks bizarre to say the least. I'm not sure what I'm looking at here.
Probably a passion fruit frappuccino.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's just they're just using the colors to kind of get it. So the bottom's going to be, I mean, it might actually be an espresso thing and then passion fruit syrup on top with cream on top and chocolate.
Yeah, I need an espresso for my depresso.
Don't look at the page. What is this thing right here? What is this? Don't look at Don't look it up.
Egg.
What do you think that is?
It's not an egg. So that is that. It's not mochi.
Describe what you're seeing.
So basically, it's a bowl, a black bowl, with chopsticks next to it, and it's got sort of like it looks like a gelatinous ball in the middle with a leaf on top, and
it's not an egg.
It has very almost translucent water around that, but with some stuff in it that look like hard candy. So because of the hard candy looking stuff, I'm going to say that might be sweet, but it's in a bowl with chopsticks, which suggests it's going to be savory.
I'll tell you what it is. So first off, it costs $20, about $17.
How many yen?
It's 1,800, so that's about $17.
Wow.
So it's a cocktail. It's a refreshing cocktail of omugishima, sencha, and gin with some yuzu in it, and you drink it like a sham. They serve gin in Starbucks Japan in a bowl.
Sounds cool.
They do in places that aren't really North America or the UK, I guess. Starbucks serves alcohol.
I didn't know this.
Yeah, I think there's some stores in the US that actually sell alcohol in Starbucks as well. It's
the big US and temperance is a hell of a thing.
No, the one in Chicago, actually the big one that opened that sells alcohol. An issue I know with Canada is because Canada still has prohibition laws.
Yeah.
Like 100 years later, basically?
Yeah, North American temperance laws, dude.
Still have it, so...
The guy that started all those like prohibition laws, you know what his ultimate plan was and why prohibition got repealed? One of the main reasons?
To stop his wife from cheating on him.
No, dude, because the guy... So the whole reason that prohibition started was because the guy that started the law, when he was a kid, he got shot or like stabbed in the foot by a drunk guy, right?
Sounds cool.
You can look that up. That's actually what happened. He got stabbed in the foot by a drunk guy, and then he spent his whole life to ban alcohol. However, once it got banned and once he got his legislature actually through the court, he was like, oh, this worked. So let me see what else I can do. So he found out that people were using, they banned alcohol for consumption, but there was still alcohol that people were using to clean cars, and people were using that to get drunk. So what he did was he started like contacting all the manufacturers of this like cleaning alcohol and like putting poison in it, so that when people
it's
drink,
called denatured alcohol. It exists. They put hexane in it, and it'll kill you dead because it's hexane.
That's what he tried. Well, it wasn't a thing until he like started doing that. He started doing that, and people started dropping dead like crazy. And they're like, what did you do, man? People are dying because of this. He's like, well, they shouldn't have been drinking. It's illegal after all. And then everything got real after that. Dude, it's a crazy story. You should look up to it when you get a chance.
I will. I just want to, before we end out, I want to give a description of the Starbucks it's like a strawberry dessert type thing. Just the way they describe this. I put a picture in voice lobby there. So what they say this is that's the second holiday dessert designed by chef Kazue Takuma of pastry and French restaurant Libre in Shirokane Tanaka. Words. Sweet
Agreed.
Strawberry is combined with sweet and sour framboise and smooth and rich Thank you, Chris. Mascarpone. The design is mainly mousse with 2 colors of meringue and bright red jelly. The design is also exciting. It is a dessert with a discovery that can be enjoyed as it goes on.
That's nice.
Yeah. It's very
one thing. When I think the best way to close this would just be to say.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. Okay, it fell apart there. But yes, it was the auto.
Say what, Frick?
Oh, did it not play?
Frick?
Did it not play?
Don't.
Did you not hear it?
That is perfect. That is perfect. Okay. Thank you, everyone, for joining us.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Please help.
No one knows what's going on. I need to grab some dinner.
Yeah, get some tendies. I already had some. Get a burger.
This crunchy almond cappuccino. That's what I want.
Get a burger.
Thank you, everyone, for joining.
Burger.
Good night and goodbye.
Plus whipped cream.
Can you please say goodbye, everyone?
Bye-bye.
Oh, I thought you were just going to cut the stream because you were done with her shit.
No. Say goodbye.
Yeah, bye. Love you all.